Hi, folks. Welcome to the 27th presentation hosted by AlmonTravel and CARP and tonight Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines, held every Tuesday at 6:30 Atlantic time, presently into late June. We have presentations until late June. So check the CARP Travel website for the latest updates. As in the past, this presentation is being recorded and will be on the CARP website shortly after. As I do at the beginning of each presentation, a little bit of information on us here at AlmonTravel. We've been in business since 2003, and coming up in about 2 weeks' time, that'll be actually 18 years in business. One of our primary focuses over that time has been destination weddings. We've done 130 destination weddings from across Canada down into the Caribbean area. Not that I am necessarily suggesting that we have destination weddings as an option here, but certainly the group experience that we have with that certainly would lend itself very well to a special anniversary coming up where you would be inviting guests and family to celebrate with you. Caribbean area vacations, adult only, family vacations. Because of our experience with destination weddings, we have gone down to most of the popular areas down in the Caribbean area, and we have, on every trip that we've gone, we've always built in time to go in and look at different resorts, do a formal inspection of them, and so we have a pretty good idea of resorts that we can recommend for you for a family vacation or an adult only vacation. Extended family Florida trips is another specialty of ours, focusing on theme parks like Disney, Universal Studios, SeaWorld, Busch Gardens, that sort of thing. Each of these parks is enormous, some absolutely enormous. And if you go down there without a plan of action, you're going to spend a lot of time wandering around, looking up in the sky, so to speak. So good to have a travel agent to help you with something like that. River cruises, one of our specialties. We've done 10 different itineraries around the world. The Mekong with Cambodia, as well as the Red River in Vietnam. We've done the Yangtze in China. We've done the Nile in Egypt. We've done the Rhine, the Danube, the Rhone in southern France and Europe. The Po River in Italy, and Portugal's Douro River in Europe, and the Mississippi on an old-fashioned paddle wheeler in the United States. So lots of experience there. Ocean cruises, another specialty, of course. We try to experience what we sell to our clients, try to anticipate what they'd be interested in. We have done Hawaii, we've done the Mediterranean, we've done the 3 Caribbean itineraries, we've done the UK, Australia, New Zealand, and Alaska, and I'm sure Royal Caribbean offers all of those, so although we won't be talking about them all. Travel conditions, every week something new pops up. We know that vaccinations are continuing at a preset number, and we understand that by the end of June, all Nova Scotians will have had the opportunity to be vaccinated, at least for the first time, and by the end of September, everybody who wants the vaccination should be done by the end of September. So I think that is probably what is going to open the world up for everybody. And so I think, the problem is it opens up for everybody, but most cruises and most trips take some planning. So, if you're thinking about, doing something, a trip that you were unable to do during the pandemic, it might not be a bad idea to be thinking about and planning that right now for travel, perhaps in 6 months or a year and a half. We at AlmonTravel are working on several presentations that will focus on 2 kind of unique areas of travel. One of them is solo travel, and one of them is women's only travel. So keep checking back for additions to the presentations on the CARP website. Folks, very important message here. I need your help in spreading the word on these presentations and recordings to your family and friends. We need to get our numbers up here. I like to keep our presenters happy by having a good number of live viewers. As well, if you have any suggestions for presentations, I'm happy to take those in. I have made up all of the presentation topics myself now. Could use a little bit of help, I'm sure. So think about that. The connection that we have with CARP is through Bill Van Gorder, who is the COO and Chief Policy Officer for CARP National, as well as the founding chair for CARP Nova Scotia, in addition to being senior spokesperson for CARP in the Maritimes. Bill and I go back about 5 years when I became part of a fundraiser, charitable fundraiser that he was responsible for, together with another gentleman, called 100 Men Who Give a Damn. And over a period of 4 years, we were able to raise over $400,000, which went to local charitable organizations. There was no overhead. It all went to the charities, and I'm very proud of that. So in the course of my involvement with that foundation, I also grew to know Bill very well, and he engaged our services to book a couple of trips. One was a river cruise in Europe, and the other was a Rocky Mountaineer in the Rockies in Canada. So he got to know my services and was pleased with what he saw, and therefore invited us to be the official travel agency of CARP Nova Scotia. So I'd like to take a moment right now and introduce Patricia Di Benedetto, Strategic Account Manager for Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines, Central Ontario, Atlantic Canada, and Quebec. She's going to talk about RCCL's variety of ships and several itineraries as well. Patricia, can you take over?
Thank you. I would love to. So thank you all for joining. And whether you're doing this live or as a recording, there is nothing I enjoy more than speaking about Royal Caribbean. And I think given the year that we've all had, it's so wonderful and so refreshing to dream about the future and to plan that vacation. And absolutely, Danny and Debbie are fantastic and who you want to be working with as we move forward. So a couple of housekeeping things. If you do have a question, please feel free to enter it into the question box. I think you should see it on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. If we don't have time at the end to answer one of your questions, we'll be sure to get back to you with an answer. So rest assured, any question, feel free to pop that in. The connection speed sometimes could be a little touch and go at this hour. We're living in a virtual world all around the world. So sometimes things slow down, but it will catch up. So just be patient if it does. But really tonight, I want to take you through a journey of Royal Caribbean and really describe to you what Royal Caribbean is all about. So when you look at Royal Caribbean, we do have some wonderfully innovative ships that I will take you through. We visit some spectacular destinations all around the world, and our service is truly exceptional. And the reason I highlight this specific area is because, you know, when you're on vacation, your service staff becomes part of your vacation. You get to know your stateroom attendant. When you're heading to the main dining room, they remember your drink order. They remember what you had last evening, what shore excursion you were heading to that day. So it really becomes such an important part of your whole journey. And then last but not least is some unique activities. So while you're on board our ships, there's a lot of activities you probably wouldn't bother to try if you were back home and had to plan a weekend to go and do something. But what a great time to do and try new things and have a story to tell when you return at home. So what's really special about Royal Caribbean is that we have lots and lots of firsts at sea. So there's so many things we've added to our ships, such as, you know, in '99, we added an ice skating rink. And at the time, it was like, wow, are you kidding? There's an ice skating rink on a ship? How do they even do that? And as the years went on and you see all these boxes come up, we have created such amazing opportunities to try different things, from zip lining to our dry slide, where you can zip down 10 stories and be spit out directly in front of a bar if you was just too much to handle and too much adrenaline. But really keeping up with the times and, again, making it such a memorable experience. Now, we do travel to plenty of destinations. Believe it or not, we visit over 300 destinations around the world, over 6 continents. We have 30 home ports as well as 2 private islands, which I will highlight to you shortly, to really see how Royal Caribbean is unique and different and why you'd want to choose our cruise line. And then last but not least, over 3,000 plus global shore excursions. So whether you're adventurous, whether you're into culinary or getting into just some white sand beaches, whatever it is, Royal Caribbean has something that will suit your taste. So before we continue on, I do want to address that, you know, we know what times we're living in, and there are some questions around what it will look like when we do embark onto those ships once again. And it's important to know we do have 100% fresh air on all of our ships. That means all the air is coming in fresh from one side of the ship and circulated and pushed out to the other side. We do have an HVAC system. We have our MERV 13, which essentially is hospital-grade air filtration. So while you're on our ships, the air on our ships is actually cleaner than the ones in the home that you're sitting in right now. So really keeping that very important and top of mind. In addition to that, we're taking some extra steps. So things like medical grade cleaning standards. So those of you that have cruised have hopefully seen the rigorous cleaning that cruise ships go through on a daily basis anyways. We are just going to amplify that even further to make sure we're as clean as humanly possible so you feel healthy and safe. We are upgrading our medical facilities. So we will have a minimum of 2 medical doctors, a minimum of 4 medical nurses on the smallest of ships, and that will continue to grow in numbers as we get to our bigger ships. But most importantly, and I speak from a mom's point of view, as a consumer's point of view, not from a brand point of view, it's really important to understand that we will have a safe and timely return home in any scenario. And that is where I want you to rest assured. So we are working with every single government at all the different ports that we're visiting to ensure that should something happen while on board, we can get you off the ship and safely home to the most local airport and back home as quickly as possible. So that is something put your mind at ease to know we have taken all of these things into consideration and so much more. But tonight's really about focusing on the brand, but please rest assured Royal Caribbean will take care of you when you set sail with us. Okay, so on to the super exciting stuff. So our innovative ships. So really important to understand our ships. And I'm not going to go into incredible detail. We have a magnitude of ships, and we really start with baby ships, we move up to medium ships, and then we have very large ships. So the best way I describe our ship classes, the smaller the ship, the more destination driven it is. So when you're on one of our baby ships, you're getting into places like the Greek islands or Russia, Scandinavia. And one of the itineraries I will highlight in just a moment is grandeur, and it's on our baby ship for a very specific reason. So just hang tight there. As you move to our bigger ships, you're choosing that ship as part of your itinerary. So you're choosing the ports that you want to visit, but you're also choosing that ship class because you do want to participate in the activities, all the different shows and all the things that ship truly has to offer. And being Royal Caribbean, we have plenty of ships in our future. We have Odyssey of the Seas about to set sail in just a month's time. Yes, you heard that right. We will be sailing in a month's time. Odyssey is our brand new ship, and she will be sailing out of Israel for her summer season before she returns over to Florida for the remainder of the winter season. We have Wonder of the Seas coming out very shortly, and then we have 2 more on the horizon. So you'll see a whole new ship class, which is very secretive, so I don't know details on it, but the Icon class will be coming out in future years. So Royal Caribbean is always keeping up and innovating and delivering new things for all of our guests. So as I mentioned, Odyssey of the Seas, so I'm just going to do a quick little highlight here. It is one of the itineraries I will highlight shortly. So beautiful ship, part of our Quantum Ultra, and it really has all the best of Royal Caribbean all on one ship. So this slide, kind of describes it, some of our activities that you'll get on board that are very unique. A new style Italian bar where you'll actually have a wood burning oven. You know that smell you get if anybody's ever gone into a pizzeria where it's wood burning oven? You're gonna get that on the ship, which is super cool. Really beautiful bars, a beautiful solarium, and lots of fun things to do within our Seaplex. So really excited to see her set sail next month, and very excited to get on her myself, to be very honest. Let's talk a little bit about the Royal Caribbean lifestyle. So you saw the ships, so we have baby ships, medium ships, big ships, but we really do have a lifestyle on board our Royal Caribbean ship, regardless of what size ship you are sailing on. So when you're on our ship, you will always get entertainment. You will always have signature activities, fantastic dining options, and I'll highlight a couple of my favorites for you. Plenty of lounges and nightlife, so you've enjoyed your day out in exploring in port. Lots of lounges and nightlife to enjoy in the evening hours. The fun never ends really while you're on board. We are multi-generational, so what we're seeing a lot of the trends we're seeing within travel is, as we're sitting here tonight on a virtual event, many of us are doing a lot of family events virtually. We're getting on those Sunday Zoom calls with our families, grandparents, children, grandchildren. We're seeing so much more multi-generational travel being booked for future seasons because we want to see, everybody wants to be together. Enough with the Zoom calls, let's get back on board together. So we really do cater, and we need to make sure that our kids and our teens are kept entertained at all times, and we have plenty for them to do. And then as you look along the bottom row, so we always have our relaxation centers of our fitness and our spa, plenty of accommodations to choose from, private destinations, pools and outdoor amenities, and again, unsurpassed service. So that is our blueprint. That is truly what Royal Caribbean stands for. Baby ship to big ship, you are going to get this no matter what. So taking a look at some onboard activities, and I can do a whole presentation on onboard activities. However, I will just highlight a few for you of just the things that you can do. And what's so important to note, everyone, is our onboard activities are all included. I am a mom of 2 boys who are very active and want to try everything. There is no additional cost for me when I'm on board. I don't have to deny my children. I don't have to tell them to pick 1 or 2 activities. They can do as many of these activities as many times as they want. So very important to note. So things from our rock wall climbing, our sports court down below, you see our flow riders, our surf simulator, great time to try something you would never try otherwise. And if you wipe out, guess what? Anybody that saw you wipe out, you'll never see them again in your life, truly. So you can make a fool of yourself and really enjoy it. Mini golf is just such a great activity. And then to highlight some of our newer activities, so our sky pad. So this was recently added in 2018 to some of our ships. Really cool experience where you're in a bungee cord, jumping up and down on trampolines where you can do some tricks and flips and all that good stuff, or you can add on a virtual reality headset and shoot up to the moon and shoot at aliens, right? So super incredible. And I will tell you this, as much as it sounds like a child's activity, it's always adults lined up for the sky pad, always. And I've been on plenty of ships to be a clear witness to that. Perhaps you're not so much into the adventure seeking on activities, you would try something like our North Star. So this is a beautiful diamond-shaped dome that rises 400 feet above sea level and gives you 360-degree views of everything around you. So talk about an incredible experience. Again, fully complimentary. You get a beautiful ride up, beautiful views. A lot of these ships actually sail out of Alaska. So imagine the views you would see out of Alaska out of something as special as this. Or again, back to a little bit of adventure seeking. How about some skydive simulating, like on our ripcord by iFly? So youngest age is from 3, oldest up to 99. So really there is no age restrictions almost on this. You would do some instruction with an instructor so you know exactly how to do it, but again, an incredible experience and something that you might not do. And if you had to do it locally, very, very expensive to do this within your local town. I know there's one not very close to me, but it was $150 a kid. So that, you know, when you're talking ticket value, you're definitely getting a great experience, again, fully complimentary. And then there's our Seaplex. So again, a really fun activity. So talk about interchangeable activities. You can be doing some old school roller skating to some old school music. We also have bumper cars that go into here, so you can actually be doing bumper cars. On the upper levels, we know how important the technology world is. We have Xbox zones for kids that want to battle one another, or perhaps play some foosball or some air hockey. Lots and lots of fun things to do in the evening hours. So again, jam-packed. But what's important to note, all those activities, but we also have just our sports pools, our water slides, lots of water activities. So in our smaller ships, you'll see maybe 2 swimming pools. As you get to our larger ships, you'll have upwards of 5 swimming pools. So plenty of loungers, plenty of areas for shade, and plenty of space within our pools. My personal favorite, and we're going to get closer to my personal favorites, but is, you know, plenty of whirlpools kind of hanging on the side of the ship, has that infinity style to them. Think about great sunsets, great sunrises, great way to relax and enjoy some scenery. And then we have our wonderful adult-only solarium. So the solarium is on every single one of our ships. You have to be 16 and older to enter this area. Such a beautiful space. So for those that, you know, maybe you're traveling and want to leave the kids' noise a little bit further away, don't worry, we have you covered. You can head over to our solarium. There's pools, there's whirlpools, there's chairs, and truly the solarium is situated where you have the absolute best views of the sea and sunset. So absolutely love the solarium. But to revisit our youth and our teens, so we know we're multi-gen, we know we have a lot of kids on board, so what are we doing for them? We make sure we have things such as arcade games. We have plenty of family activities, some of which I showed you. That specific picture that you see there is laser tag. So really fun activity that you can do, again, complimentary. Pools and water slides, as well as children menus, not only in our main restaurants, but also our specialty restaurants. And then we do have specific programming within our Adventure Ocean. So mom and dad, day one, you head on over to Adventure Ocean. You can sign up your children, and they're part of the programming there. So for babies from 6 months to 36 months, we give a place for mom and dad to come and interact with their child, but must stay present. Once they are 3 and potty trained, off you go. You're in your programming. You know, different programming for different children. You could be doing science experiments for the older kids. And then once you hit the teen section, and I can speak because I have a teen myself, as soon as you call it a teen program, they want nothing to do with it because it's not cool enough. So we've actually designed some really fun spaces for teens that are not called Teen Zone. And we have things like pool tables, little coves, outdoor areas, where teams from around the world really do get to meet each other and enjoy some vacation time in a space of their own, kind of away from the younger ones. So really, really important, and it is an award-winning program. Let's chat a little bit about entertainment and nightlife. So you've now done some activities on your at-sea days. You've visited some ports and destinations, which I'll get to in just a moment. Now you're on board. You want to see some entertainment and nightlife, right? So you're going to head over to our main theater. So again, main theater is a critical component of any cruise. You definitely want to catch the shows. So it can be anywhere from comedy shows to, newlywed games and things that are fun in that nature. But if you're traveling on one of our Oasis class ships or our Quantum class ships, you actually also get a Broadway show included. So in addition to our original productions, you can actually be catching Grease or Mamma Mia on board, which is incredible. Again, top ticket value, fully complimentary, and there are plenty of showtimes throughout the week, so you'll absolutely get your opportunity to see one of these true Broadway musicals. As well as like I mentioned, our original productions. So we have a whole studio that produces some really wonderful productions. And if you're on our Oasis class, you can enjoy our aqua theater, which you see in the back. So things like divers, tightrope walkers, like really live, magical performances in front of you. So our entertainment is something we truly pride ourselves on, and there is no shortage of options in the evening hours. Right through to our Studio B ice skating rink. So I kind of mentioned this in the beginning. This is the first of its kind to have a skating rink on board. We have lots of shows in Studio B, and it really is incredible. There's laser lights and drones, really becomes interactive, and again, beautiful options in the evening hours. So once you've seen your shows, perhaps you want to enjoy a little bit more nightlife. So if you're not tired enough, don't worry about it. We can keep you going till the wee hours of the morning. So we have live music and dancing, plenty of cocktail and wine bars. Casinos, we're always willing to accept deposits. If you would like to deposit some money into our casino, come on over, no problem. So whether it's slots that you're into or tables, we absolutely service that, as well as some fun themed parties. So we do have a Royal Promenade, which is the center part of the ship. And that Royal Promenade is a place you will frequent all the time. And in the evening hours, you'll find things like 70s parties or 80s parties. You'll have live music and parades. So really, really fun and lively. And you truly feel like you're on vacation as you're cruising through all of our ships. It's just incredible, all the different things that you can actually enjoy. So given that we're around the dinner time hour, let's talk some food options, because I'm hungry, but I'm always hungry because I'm home. So all I do is snack all day. So nevertheless, we have lots and lots of dining options while on board. So for those of you that have cruised, this may be familiar. For those of you that haven't, it's important to know. So we have lots of complimentary dining. These will be found on every single one of our ships. So Windjammer, which is the image that you see behind you, is Windjammer Marketplace. So this is our buffet restaurant. Typically, you're going to visit here breakfast and lunchtime. Now, I may have said buffet, and you may be thinking in the back of your mind, uh-oh, how's a buffet going to work given the times that we're in? So again, rest assured, we are working with all of that. So where it used to be a self-service buffet, we will now have staff serving you. So there will still be a very careful and safe protocol as we return to service, so please rest assured. Sorrento's is our pizza restaurant, so it's wonderful. That's sort of your great afternoon snack right into the wee hours of the morning after you're done at the casino. You can always grab a slice of pizza at Sorrento's. And then we have Cafe Promenade, where you can get your coffee, your sweet treats, and little mini sandwiches. So all day long, there is plenty of food to choose from, completely included. And then there's our main dining. So our main dining, is so beautiful. You really do feel special when you walk into the main dining room. It is really, really special environment that you get put into, right? Like, so it looks beautiful, and then you get such unsurpassed service, right? So I mentioned it earlier. You get to know your wait staff. They get to know you. You really have that conversation. They know your preferences. And the menus change every single evening, and you really do get the top of the line selection. So you can be having, crab cakes or a chicken Waldorf salad. And, for your main, you can be having prime rib. We will always have vegetarian options as well as the vegan menu, which we know is incredibly important. We also cater to all dietary restrictions, which is also critical. So, for example, if you happen to have a gluten intolerance, we know that is on the rise. We have a menu for you. So essentially, if it's Monday night, we're going to bring you Tuesday night gluten-free menu that you can choose from. So Tuesday night, when your party arrives at your table, you'll be served the meal you already selected. So from your appetizer to your main to your dessert, so you can enjoy a wonderful meal as well. So again, things to note, we really do cater and all included with your vacation. But we do have specialty dining, and I always suggest specialty dining if it's a celebratory event, if you have a birthday or an anniversary. It's always nice to add something a little bit extra. There is a fee included, but you're looking at such a small fee. So if you think of your local steakhouse, for a couple, you can be spending upwards of $150. You're looking at $20, $30 of an additional charge. So you're definitely not paying anywhere close to a local restaurant. But nevertheless, some really great restaurants to choose from. So 150 Central Park is a beautiful restaurant that has a farmhouse menu. And what does that mean? It means you get 6 smaller courses that you can taste throughout the night. So you can have something like beet salad or a pan-seared halibut. You can have lobster, lots of different cheeses and desserts to sample from. So really fun experience. Another option is Chops Grill. So this is our steakhouse. This is available on every single one of our ships. By far the most popular of the restaurants. The food is outstanding. And again, so as much as it is a steakhouse, you're going to get a wonderful New York steak if that's your choice. We also have seafood options. And again, we have vegetarian options. So if you're not a steak lover, no worries. We have plenty to offer. And last one that I want to point out is Chef's Table, because I think Chef's Table is such a special experience. So it's a 5-course meal paired with different wines. So every meal comes with a different wine. So this is a really unique experience. So you can be having like scallop carpaccio with Pinot Grigio, for example, or your grilled filet mignon paired with your Cabernet Sauvignon. So really, really, if you're into sampling and you're into wine, which I absolutely am, very, very good suggestions here. I would highly recommend. All right, so let's talk destinations. Let's talk some itineraries. So we do visit some pretty remarkable destinations around the world. So you can see as it highlights here, from North America, we head over to Europe, to Asia, Dubai, as well as Australia and New Zealand. The only area we don't touch is the Southern Caribbean, South America, my apologies. We leave that to our sister brand, Celebrity Cruises, for the time being. So we really do focus more on the Upper Caribbean. And no one knows the Caribbean better than Royal Caribbean. I mean, after all, it's in our name. We are Royal Caribbean. So we truly do specialize in the Caribbean, and we really do know the Caribbean ports. So I always like to highlight this when I'm speaking, because sometimes, you don't know the difference between Eastern, Western, Southern. What am I picking? Why am I picking? Or why am I picking Bahamas and Bermuda? So if I start from the top, so Bahamas is so near and dear to our heart, and you'll see our private island rest there. So it is so close for us to head to, and it is a really important Royal Caribbean story. Bermuda is really beautiful. That's where you'll find your pink sand beaches. It's just kind of living out on its own, but really spectacular place to visit. But when you're choosing Eastern to Western, so if you're choosing Western, the best way I describe Western is if you're more adventurous, if you're more into exploring. So think things like snorkeling or renting an ATV, going hiking, and really enjoying the island, you're going to head over to Western Caribbean. If you're doing Eastern, there is likely a saint in the name. So think St. Thomas, St. Martin, St. Kitts. If there's a saint, that's your first clue. And really, if you're choosing that itinerary, you're choosing it for the lush beaches that you'll find. You'll be choosing it for shopping and perhaps a little bit more of a laid-back, relaxed day versus Western. And then as you get into Southern Caribbean, which I absolutely love, so I'll be highlighting 2 itineraries that I absolutely adore. You're getting into those deep South Islands, very, very warm, very rich with culture. And you're even finding those ABC islands of Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. So really beautiful itineraries when you're getting into the deep South. So I do want to take a moment to highlight our private islands because they are ours. So no one can go there unless you're on Royal Caribbean. So we do have 2 private islands. So first up is Labadee. So Labadee is actually on the north coast of Haiti. So it is only access to us at the very top. And it is such a gorgeous cove. It features pristine beaches. It has coral reefs. It has lagoon-like bays, and it's surrounded by forested mountains. So really, really beautiful. Oh, okay, there we go. And very fun fact, it's actually part of the top 10 Caribbean cruise destinations. So Labadee is definitely a stop that you want to hit up. You can enjoy all sorts of activities from total relaxation to high energy thrills. So you can be zip lining and doing water sports, or you can be doing nature walks and enjoying the relaxing beaches. Labadee truly does have it all. So there are some really fun things. So whether you want to do the 300-foot long Dragon Splash water slide that heads all the way down and has 10 twists and turns, soar down Dragon's Breath zip line. So zip lining seems to be tried and true for Royal Caribbean. You'll find it on our Oasis class ships, and you'll find it at both of our private islands. And then there's a really fun Dragon Tail coaster that goes through and directly ends up onto the beach. So really great. If you're looking for some relaxing, special, isolated area, we do have some beautiful cabanas for rental on our Barefoot Beach. So really exclusive, again, surrounded by beautiful trees, that lush environment, and really crystal blue ocean ahead of you. The second private island I'm going to highlight is Perfect Day at Coco Cay. And I do light up when I talk about Perfect Day because I absolutely love it. I can just see everyone in my life, from the smallest child to, you know, the oldest person I have within my family, absolutely loving Perfect Day at Coco Cay. So when we take an aerial look of the island, it really becomes a choose your own adventure kind of day. If you're into thrills and you're not a beach bum, fantastic. Head over to those pig boxes. We have plenty of things for you to do. But if you are a beach bum, you're going to head over to those blue and green boxes over there and really enjoy the beauty of the island. So, you know, taking a look at our beaches. So this is a different view of the island. So we begin with Chill Island, there's Harbor Beach, as well as South Beach in the very back. So 3 different beaches to choose from. So when you think about sometimes, you know, when you go to an all-inclusive resort, and by no means am I putting them down, love them as well. But, you know, there's no playing the game of putting clips on your chairs at 4 in the morning. There are so many chairs around the island. There are so many umbrellas for shade. You can move from beach to beach to beach, and rest assured, you will always find a spot to enjoy. And if you're into snorkeling, plenty of snorkeling. If you're more of a pool person, fantastic. We have our Oasis Lagoon. So this is the largest freshwater pool in the Caribbean. So there's lots of different codes. Each has its own vibe. There's a kid-friendly section. Life jackets are included, so mom and dad don't have to worry about that. And anywhere there is water, there is a lifeguard. And that holds true to also our ships. So we always have a lifeguard present. And then the swim-up bar. Why not mention the swim-up bar again? So wine from the chef's table, a swim-up bar here. What's wonderful to note, so because alcoholic beverages are not included when sailing with Royal Caribbean, if you do choose to purchase an alcoholic beverage package, that carries off to our private island. So you could be using that at Perfect Day as well as Labadee. So again, when you're thinking about, you know, is it worth it for me to get a beverage package? It is if one of these islands is included, because then you can really truly enjoy it throughout the day as well. And most recently, we opened up our Coco Beach Club. So this is a very exclusive area of the island. So there is an entrance fee here where it's a per person fee, and this is kind of tucked away. You have access to different things such as you have the Coco Beach restaurant. So you have an elevated menu, so things like snapper or filet mignon and things of that nature. There are some beautiful cabanas, again, for rental. So you have beach cabanas, but the really special part of this is the floating cabanas. So they are the first floating cabanas within the Caribbean. And then you have our Coco Beach Club. So again, your own bar, lots of live music, your own restaurant where you can enjoy your own menus. So fantastic spot there as well. And then we can never forget about our little kiddies. So lots of kids thrills that are included. So no additional fee here. We do have a large splashway bay, so lots of soaker buckets, a lot of slides, and really, really fun activities, as well as that fun captainship for kids to enjoy throughout the day. But we do have some thrills that there is a fee for. So whether it's the Thrill Water Park, where you have 21 water slides included, you have the wave pool, you have an adventure pool, so really, really fun there. If you're into zip lining again, so it's a 3-part zip line, so it's about a 45-minute experience, and you see the whole island from up top. Or my personal favorite, which is Up, Up, and Away, which is a really cool experience of a helium balloon that rises 450 feet in the air. And again, a 360-degree view of the island. It is just truly breathtaking. I absolutely adored it. And then Perfect Day Grill. So they say on average, you gain 2 pounds every day on a cruise, which is crazy because coming back 14 pounds heavier does not sound desirable. But what it does sound like is you are getting fed super well. So there are lots of options. So whether you're at Skipper's Grill, we have Chill Grill, we have 3 different snack shacks, so you're literally steps away from food no matter where you're situated along the island. So wonderful, wonderful experience. Okay, so let's get to the best part. So here are some suggested itineraries that Danny selected alongside me because we really wanted to highlight just an idea of what you'd be looking at for when you sail with Royal Caribbean. So Harmony of the Seas, although we're highlighting Southern Caribbean, I did want to mention this Western Caribbean cruise itinerary, and you'll see why in just a moment. So this is just an example of an itinerary. So on Harmony of the Seas, so again, that Broadway musical, lots of activities, leaving May 1st to the 8th, you can get prices as low as $150 per night. So when you think of it like that and the ticket value associated with it, you'd be leaving out of Orlando, so great start to your vacation. You know, opportunity to visit the Kennedy Space Center or explore the famous Cocoa Beach, where I Dream of Jeannie made that beach famous. You're going to head over day one to Perfect Day at Coco Cay. So again, private island. So ding, 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 private island. Awesome. We just took you through that. Head over to Nassau, Bahamas. You know, lots to do there, whether you're heading over to the beach or you're looking to explore or heading into the city. Lots and lots of options through Nassau. Next stop is over to Falmouth, Jamaica. So whether you're enjoying the beautiful beaches for a relaxing day, or you want to enjoy some local cuisine, or you want to look for more adventure, so back to those ATV renting things and really getting into the island, that's an option. And then heading to our second private island of Lavadie. So this is why I wanted to highlight it. So there are not many itineraries that offer both private islands on one sailing. So that's why I really wanted to highlight it, because there is so much value in being able to see our private destinations as well as be on one of our beautiful ships. So, and in between there, you get a couple days at sea to really enjoy what's on board. But as we move into the deep south, I wanted to highlight Odyssey of the Seas. This is our newest ship. It is our most desirable ship because it is the new one. You're heading 8 nights for a Southern Caribbean cruise. So looking at April 9th to 17th. And remember, these are just suggested itineraries. Price is always subject to change based on availability and all the stuff that you're aware of. But this is just to give you a frame of reference on what you're looking at. So again, newest ship, you're going to visit, you're going to have 4 days at sea, which is lovely because you catch such beautiful views as you cruise on down. And again, lots to do on board. So you're really getting good use out of the ship. So you're going to leave out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and then you'll have 3 different stops. So you'll head over to Georgetown, Grand Cayman. So this is really a once-in-a-lifetime adventure. I really, really do love the Grand Cayman. So snorkeling with the stingrays seems to be one of our most popular activities, but lots of other fun things to do. There's our world famous 7 Mile Beach. You can enjoy a helicopter ride and lots of shopping for any shoppers out there. Lots of great prices on jewelry and watches. So just throwing that one out there. And then another island will be Curacao. So again, enjoying the day at Cabana Beach. So beautiful turquoise waters, or heading over to the Hato Caves and where they have this mystical underground lake, or take a guided walk. Like, look how beautiful that sunset is. And they are in Curacao a little bit later, so you can enjoy a sunset. So beautiful city to explore as well. And then Aruba. Aruba is always a fan favorite with that beautiful breeze. That is truly like a wonderful Caribbean island. So whether you're visiting Palm Beach, again, a 2-mile beach surrounded by palm trees, lots of water sports, you can be, again, renting that ATV, those ATVs to keep popping up, or maybe enjoying a fun beach cruise for the day as a shore excursion. So really nice there. But then I would be remiss if I didn't talk about Barbados, because this is truly, as a Canadian, this is the itinerary I'm most excited about. And I say it as a Canadian because Barbados seems to be a popular spot as a regular vacation where you're just staying at one resort or one hotel for the week. We now have this as a home port, which is fantastic. So sailing beginning in December of 21 out to April 22. And it is visiting such beautiful locations that we've never been able to visit before. So the itinerary I'm going to highlight again is actually, sorry, my apologies, it's April 24th, not May 1st. I have a typo there. But for as low as $108 a night, and check out this itinerary. So you're going to head over for the very first time Royal Caribbean is heading to Scarborough, Tobago. So just by looking at this stunning beach, you can see it's a true Caribbean gem. So, you know, you have one of the most famous tourist attractions is really getting into the different species and a lot of the snorkeling and really beautiful there. Second day, you're heading over to the Port of Spain in Trinidad. So again, a very new port for us. We've never visited, so really excited. So it's located along the Gulf of Paria, and it's home to like centuries old history as well as some beautiful botanical gardens if that is of interest to you. Next stop is Kingstown, St. Vincent. So you can take a guided tour through one of the local rum distilleries or visit the Bay Gardens located on the site of an old sugar mill. So plenty of things to do here. Then the next day you're heading to Kingstown, St. Vincent. So this image is like the picture of a perfect Caribbean getaway. It's like enjoy some secluded white sand beaches or hike through trails. Lots of jungle to explore as well if that's something that you're interested in. And the next day you head out to Dominica. So Dominica offers a lush, low-key hideaway. So lots of adventure around every corner. I love this because you can visit the Champagne Reef. So for anybody who hasn't heard of this, you're snorkeling at a Champagne beach where the waters produce like a fizzing effect. So you feel like you're in a champagne bowl. So really cool. And then last but not least, you're heading over to St. Lucia. So absolute favorite of mine, you know, beautiful, lush island with so many things to see and do. So if you put that all together, leaving out of Barbados, you are hitting a port every single evening. or every single day, my apologies, into that very, very deep south itinerary. So really beautiful, a first for Royal Caribbean, hopefully a first for you as well, for those of you listening who I may have intrigued a little, but beautiful, beautiful Southern Caribbean island hops offered. So the last thing I will point out before we go to questions is sailing this summer. We actually have some ships sailing, which is so exciting. The light at the end of the tunnel has finally arrived. So we do have 3 ships that are sailing that are open to all citizenships. So we have Adventure of the Seas that will be sailing out of Nassau. You will actually have 2 full days at Perfect Day at Coco Cay, our private island. You will also visit Cozumel as well as Grand Bahama Island. So beautiful itinerary sailing between June and September of 2021. Vision of the Seas will be departing from Bermuda. So again, remember those pink sand beaches. So you'll head out to sea, you'll get to visit Perfect Day at Coco Cay, and then you'll actually get to enjoy an overnight in Bermuda. So for anybody that knows anything about Bermuda, it's an expensive place to stay. So this is a fantastic way to see the island at a much more reasonable rate. And last but not least, we have Jewel of the Seas that will be sailing out of Cyprus. So this is doing a beautiful Greek island itinerary with Rhodes, Mykonos, Athens, Santorini, and Crete. So what does it require for you to get on one of these ships? So it is open to all citizenships. However, you must be fully vaccinated. So that means if you're having a 2-dose vaccination, you must have both doses plus a 14-day window thereafter to get on board, which rightfully so. We're in the very beginning of restarting cruising. This is a requirement currently. This may disappear as time moves on. But for now, that is, for the safety of our guests, that is really critical. So for Canadians, again, a little bit close. We know our vaccination schedule is a little bit behind our friends across the border. However, I do have a lot of Canadian clients that are booking closer to August and September when we feel a little bit more assured that we'll have that vaccination. But definitely wanted to highlight, hopefully you've seen that in the news. So with that, I wanted to make sure there was some time for some questions. If there are no questions and you think of something thereafter, by all means, you know how to reach out, and I will put that up in just a moment. And there we go. So I will just take a peek since I've been doing a lot of talking, so I apologize. I don't know that any questions came in, but as I said, oh, no, just a second. There we go. Just a moment. Well, the ships travel at 100% capacity or required to have a reduced capacity. So we will have a reduced capacity. So fair question. It will absolutely be reduced in the early parts of, again, restarting cruising. As we move forward, as things evolve, and I feel like I'm going to say this, and I'm sure you're all aware, everything changes daily, so we know that. So, as stringent as things may seem in the beginning, that will loosen as time goes on. So that's something that for now we will absolutely be at a reduced capacity. So, all right. So I don't see any other questions. I don't know if any questions, Danny, did you have any questions that you thought of as I went on? I hope it's hard to talk about the whole brand and itineraries and all this wonderful stuff. So hopefully I colored that up for everyone. But if anything came up throughout, by all means. Oh, you're on mute. There we go.
There we go. And certainly, oh my heavens, what else did I do here? Technology, not good. Yeah, thanks very much, Patricia. I mean, an enthusiastic presentation not only on Royal Caribbean, but also on one of my favorite itineraries, which is Southern Caribbean.
Yes.
A few comments and questions. I'm very impressed with the safety precautions. That this whole COVID situation and other situations that we've observed over the past years. Cruise ships didn't really have a policy in place to be able to ensure that their passengers and crew were as well looked after as perhaps they could. So it's lovely to see that you have things developed whereby different ports can take off people that are in any kind of illness situation, but particularly COVID. So I thought that was great. And ships are mini destinations, and of course, the bigger the ship, the more things to do. And we've done a fair bit of cruising ourselves, and just walking around the ship and just seeing a little nook or cranny where maybe a guitar player is playing, and six or eight people standing around watching that, and interaction with the people that are watching him and enjoying his present or her presentation, that sort of thing, right up to the Broadway shows, which are mesmerizing, absolutely mesmerizing. You will I'm sure find very little difference between that and what you would see in a real Broadway show in New York or Los Angeles or whatever. Yeah, the flow rider, I looked at that and I just said, I'll be on that for about 2 seconds and then on my rear end in the water at the back, I'm sure. Anyway, so I'll leave that to younger guests to experience that and I'll watch them.
Oh,
The
very good.
Port Star, is that ever available on ships as they're approaching ports? And secondly, I think everything basically shuts down on the ship when you are actually in port. Would that be something that people could enjoy?
Yes, so great question actually. So there are times, so when we are in port, you're right, everything does shut down. We do special Alaska. When we are in port, there is a fee when we're in port to rise up to see the views. Otherwise, it is at your sail away and moments where you can actually enjoy what's around you. So,
And
um,
oh, sorry, yeah, and Adventure Ocean, lots of programs for children, which I believe are supervised, so the adults can,
yes,
correct?
of course.
What about evenings? Is there any supervision available?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'll give you two scenarios that I love. So number one, yes, there is evening programming. So if you want, they can be in Adventure Ocean from morning all the way through to the evening hours completely. What I do as a parent is what a really nice little touch is, I want my kids with me also, right? I don't want them in Adventure Ocean the whole day. So what we'll do is in the evening, so we head over to the main dining room, we'll order our meal, my husband and I. So we'll order our appetizer, our main, and our dessert. The kids will get their main at the time that we get our appetizer. So we'll have our family meal, and then the Adventure Ocean staff will walk on over, come pick up my kids, and my husband and I will enjoy the rest of the meal as well as the show and some of the evening entertainment, and then can pick them up later on. So they can get swept away to watch a movie or do an activity. So it's actually a great way to still have the family time, but then also have some adult time in the evening.
Oh, that's
So
wonderful.
yeah.
Just excursions are an added
Mm-hmm.
cost in every port. Would you have any sort of average cost for an excursion? I know they would go right up for if something was off
Yeah.
for 6 hours, it's going to be more expensive. If something that's 2 hours,
Yeah.
less expensive.
It could be as low as $20 US per day, all the way up to $500. It really just does depend on the shore excursion. So it's a bit of a difficult one, but there are some really family-friendly options, really budget-friendly options, as well as accessible options, which is a really important thing to note. So, when we talk multi-gen, there might be someone, like grandma and grandpa are 50th anniversary. Grandpa might be in a wheelchair. All of our shore excursions will be noted with an accessibility tag on it, so you know that it's accessible for your full family if that's how you happen to be traveling.
Okay. No, that's
Yeah.
great. Thank you. 2 pounds a day. I can't imagine. But
I
I do
can't, every
know
time I
wandering around ships, there's some place to eat at some time, any time of the day, and you really have to be kind of careful of that. So
you really do. But I typically at home don't have dessert with breakfast and dessert with lunch and dessert with dinner. Like it's dessert all day long. It's incredible, right? So I can fully see how. So
yeah, and my final comments were,
yeah.
the Southern Caribbean options, the one with 4 days at sea and 4 days in port. That's the best of both worlds. I know I always have to keep my clients in mind when I'm thinking, when I go on a cruise, I love to have lots of ports. And the second
Mm-hmm.
example I mentioned there, the grandeur of the seas, a port every day would be right up my alley. But I do know that, clients love to have that time at sea where you don't go into a port and you have the whole day to actually explore the ship and see what it has to offer and enjoy yourself. And keep in mind, folks, that when you're at sea days, that if you are thinking about doing anything special on board the ship, such as get a massage or that sort of thing, book
Mm-hmm.
those early because the fact that you're at sea, everybody's thinking about booking those things. So you want to book them well in advance. So yeah, so
Exactly.
those were wonderful options. So just want to take a moment right now, Patricia, and just talk about what's happening next week. 6:30 Atlantic Standard Time on Tuesday, April the 20th, we have a presentation on a Newfoundland and Labrador coach tour with a local touring company, Atlantic Tours. So trying to keep it within our own bubble, perhaps. Something worthwhile tuning in for and having a look at. Newfoundland and Labrador have been on my bucket list for quite a while, and I missed out on an opportunity when I had several brothers actually working over there. I should have gone over to visit them and build in a trip, but it didn't happen. So this will be great for people if you're interested in this sort of thing. So Patricia, thank you very much for a wonderful presentation on Royal Caribbean. It was very interesting, and your enthusiasm just made it all that more interesting. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me. It was such a lovely evening to be able to do this.
Thank
so with
you.
that, you're welcome.